Time now to welcome in our quarterback, two-time MVP Kurt Warner, for his top 5 list this week. And this isn't the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, Kurt, as we've discussed before. This is your own unique spin on it.
Well, exactly, Dan. It's social media out there. We got to set the preference ahead of time on what exactly we're doing. And you're right. It's weekly lists, so it's based simply on last week. So obviously you have to have played last week, but it's based on that performance. And I will say that I always give a little more weight to winning, but you can still make the list even if you don't win the game.
Okay, we're doing it a little differently this year. We have a pool of 10 quarterbacks who all performed very well in week 1. You're choosing your top 5 from our list of 10. Let's start with number 5.
All right, number 5 on my list is Jameis Winston. And you watch his performance, and it's definitely not perfect, but I love the fact that he continues to bounce back. He's got a short memory. As you see there, 23 for 33, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. And what I love is the nature of the throws. You'll see it right here. He loves to throw the ball down the field. To me, that gets a little bit extra weight than a bunch of checkdowns or a bunch of balls thrown at 5 yards down the field. He stretches the field and made some big throws. I love where he's at in year 2.
Yeah, most touchdown passes by a Bucs quarterback in an opener since Steve DeBerg in 1987, so way back in the day there. All right, how about number 4, Kurt?
Number 4, Andrew Luck, another young quarterback. I know he missed most of last year, but I just love to watch this guy play. When you watch his eyes, you see him play the quarterback position. He goes through his reads, he gets through things, he throws the ball down the field. He's got a big arm, accurate down the field, 385 yards, 4 touchdowns. I know they didn't win the game. That's obviously what drops him to number 4 on my list. But this kid is special, and I just love to watch him every time out because I believe he plays the quarterback position very much the way I did, and I appreciate that part of it.
47 passes last week. That was the most passes in the league without an interception for Andrew Luck. All right, number 3.
Well, number 3, this guy probably is number 1 on the list most weeks. Dropped him down to 3 simply because they lost the game. No fault of his. But Drew Brees gets number 3 billing. I mean, to go for 400 yards in an opener, he's gone, I think, as Mooch told us on game day morning, 6 straight years with over 300 yards on opening day. Coming in, you kind of wondered, well, who's he going to be throwing it to? You know, who are going to be the guys on the outside? Doesn't seem to slow him down. As we said, 423 yards. 4 touchdowns. Unfortunately, they lost with a 2-point conversion, that gutsy call at the end. But he was fabulous in this game.
His 14th 400-yard passing game. He is now tied with Peyton Manning for the most 400-yard passing games in league history. Number 2.
I'm putting Big Ben at the number 2 spot. It was just fun to watch him on Monday night. This is a guy that I don't think gets the credit he deserves as a passer. Just gets better and better. Obviously, he's got that great player on the outside. The rapport between those two guys is incredible. I mean, it's one of those rare connections that we've seen in the history of this game. It's fun to watch them, but Big Ben is just playing the position, I believe, over the last 2 or 3 years as well as anybody. Even though it might not be as pretty, he doesn't get the credit, but he, steps in at number 2 on my list.
And the Steelers have won 9 in a row when Big Ben is thrown for 2 touchdown passes or more. All right, it is time. The number 1 quarterback of the week on your list is who, Kurt?
Yeah, it might surprise some people, but I'm putting Matthew Stafford at number 1. Got the big win over Andrew Luck, who performed well also. You see it right there. Only 8 incompletions, 340 yards, 3 touchdowns. But what I love so much is the nature of how he played the game. We saw him over the last 6 or 7 years with Megatron. He would always try to launch the ball up in the air and throw it into double and triple coverage because he knew he had that big beast on the outside. Different cast of characters this year, and I love the way he spread the football around. I love the way that he read things, got the ball to the right guy, didn't try to force things. We may be seeing a different Matthew Stafford, and always had all the talent in the world, but it was the mental side of it that he struggled with.
So let's take one more look, Kurt, at your top 5 here. Matthew Stafford is atop your list as your number 1 quarterback. And as always, after we look at your top 5, we have to match that up against the fans' top 5, which is also always an interesting contrasting comparison. And as you guessed, their number 1 quarterback this week is indeed Drew Brees. They have Stafford at 3, and they have Derek Carr at number 5. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, again, not a bad list. There was a bunch of guys that you could have, chosen from. Eli Manning played well. Jimmy Garoppolo in his first action. Even Wentz as a rookie. And Derek Carr, I mean, to lead his team back and then to win and make the 2-point conversion, I can understand that one as well. But Jameis Winston, I just thought, really played an incredible football game, and he's growing in his second year. So he, to me, was a little bit more impressive. And I mentioned earlier the nature of the throws that he made. But again, Derek Carr played a great game and got the big win in New Orleans. So I can see where he's on the list.
Been fun to watch both Derek Carr and Jameis Winston grow up before our very eyes. Kurt Warner, our two-time MVP. Thank you, sir.